Welcome to the City Show, where we capture the voices that bring our world cities to life. Today, we're excited to welcome Mashawi. Mashawi's a talented, multifaceted musician from Toronto that combines pop, hip hop, R&B, and his own unique sounds. He's got quite the standout Instagram profile with a legion of fans showing appreciation for his one-of-a-kind lyrical creations. Mashawi, thanks for being on the show. Can you please introduce yourself in a couple sentences?
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here. Well, first and foremost, I would say that I'm an artist. I do modeling. I like to just be a creative person, whether it's music, whether it's fashion. I'm a hard worker person that loves to just go for the dreams and just keep searching for what's the next step and stage in my life. So for me, if you're with me, you're gonna get a lot of music, a lot of fashion, inspiration, and I'm ready to just show the world what I gotta offer.
And we're sure you're going to continue to be successful at that.
Thank you, brother.
Can you share a personal story from your city, Toronto, a moment of failure, vulnerability, or an intimate experience that shaped who you are today?
I mean, well, for me, like, it wasn't always easy just growing up in the city. Like, there was a time where, believe it or not, I was homeless. There was a time where I was homeless. I had some struggles in the city. It was a hard time finding a job. Um, but yeah, I was living in staircases. I was living in apartment buildings, like in the back areas. And I was a part of like the fashion industry at the same time. So being a part of Toronto Men's Fashion Week as a designer relations manager and being homeless at the same time, people wouldn't think that that has happened. But I was in the spotlight at a point too, and also homeless at the same time. And I had to kind of balance it out, and people didn't really know what was going on because I would go to work all nice and fresh, but then I had no place to stay. So it was a real struggle, a real tough time in my life. And I feel like getting to know myself and getting and hitting rock bottom for me at that point was a moment of clarity. I needed to fix something. I needed to really get out of my situation, and I found a community of people that really helped me rise and change my life around and to just focus on the music, focus on the fashion, and come out of that situation. So I feel like, yeah, that was a tough time in my life where I was homeless at a point and I just really had to figure things out because I just finished university, graduating from university, and still being homeless at the same time because I wasn't really close with my family. They didn't really like my lifestyle, but I figured it out, and here I am today.
Well, it's incredible that someone as, intelligent and capable as you had to go through something like that, had to go through homelessness.
Yeah,
And it's a very inspiring story that you were able to rise above that and
honestly.
become who you are today,
Yeah.
become the person that you are today, and that's really incredible. You
Thank
know the
you.
story, the movie, The Pursuit of Happiness,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
starring Will Smith.
Yeah,
So your
yeah.
story kind of makes me think of him,
Okay.
trying to make it in a big city,
Yeah,
and having a day job, and also
yeah,
unfortunately not having a home to sleep in,
yeah. It
with
was
his son
tough.
in his case, right?
Yeah. That's actually pretty funny because I love that movie and I never really thought of that. But when now that you say it, now I can see like the correlation between me and the pursuit of happiness. Like it's really a funny story too.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Oh
It
man.
just so is there a small accomplishment in your life that meant a lot to you, but in your perspective might not appear significant to others, but to you it had a special meaning?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. For me to go to college and university, I feel like that was the biggest thing, academics in my family, because Most of my family, my parents, they didn't go to college or university. My brothers and sisters, none of them really did. Like the younger ones now are coming up and doing it, but I was the first one in my family to finish college and university. And my parents, they really said, they're like, okay, I didn't go to college and university, but I really want you to. You're born and raised here in Canada. You're first generation Canadian, Jamaican, and we want you to set an example. So for me to just go to college and university, put myself through it, I paid for it myself, no help. I got like grants and some little scholarships here and there, but honestly, that was one of my biggest accomplishments just to put myself through school and have my diploma and have an education for my family and just to show people what I'm capable of. So that was a big accomplishment for me.
Well, listen, school's not easy, right? You got to fit a box and you got to follow a curriculum and you got to
Exactly.
keep in line and do their exams.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunately you have to fit yourself in a box for a few years in order to get that piece of paper
Yeah.
to then
Yeah.
go back and then recreate and redefine who you are
Hundred
in the
percent.
marketplace
100%.
and become, as you define yourself, unicorn Mashawi.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like even though I put myself through that college and university, originally I wanted to do diplomacy. I wanted to work for international relations. That's what my background is. And but I'm not doing that exactly. Music has always been the first love. And growing up in high school, doing talent shows, I did competitions, I did dance competitions, and that was always the background for me, but I had a point in my life where, okay, I took a little break from music. I did. I took like 6 years away from music. I traveled a bit. I lived in Egypt for a while. And I just wanted to have that educational background, just to have it so that if anything, I can fall back to it. But my plan was always to become an artist, to become a musician. Even though I had some obstacles and things along the way, that was the main focus. And I feel like just having the education is good, but now I'm able to do what I want and just focus towards my future as a musician, as an artist.
And that's much more liberating when you actually have the opportunity to do what you want to do in life
Right.
according to your own terms.
Exactly.
You're among the most liberated people out there.
Oh, yeah,
So a lot
man.
of people are not happy working 9 to 5 doing their jobs
Yeah, a
and
hundred
fulfilling the
percent.
dreams of someone else, right?
Yeah, 100%, because it's not easy. Like for me, music is my main focus, but I also work a job too. So it's not just the focusing on the music. I also work a job, and when I'm not working that job, I'm doing the music and I'm doing the modeling fashion. So it's always a busy cycle for me. It's like any day off from the work, it's other work. It's like music side that I'm focusing on, or going to the studio, or writing, or practicing. So I'm always like on the go, always busy.
Sounds like the Toronto hustle.
Oh yeah, Toronto is it's that kind of a city. It's a working city, definitely.
I would say Toronto and New York have more in common with each other than Toronto and Montreal.
Oh yeah,
Because there's
100%.
a lot of people in Toronto that just dedicate themselves to their
Yeah,
mission
that's
and
it.
they just don't stop. Whatever it is they do, they don't have to be on Bay Street working in finance. They could be in the music industry, the
Yeah,
entertainment industry. They could be in nightlife. Whatever it is they do, they take it seriously and they push
yeah,
all the way.
100%,
And so
man.
that's a certain admiration I have for Torontonians.
Right, right.
Some quick fire questions.
Okay, let's get
So,
it.
what's your favorite neighborhood in Toronto and why?
Okay, I would say the beaches because it's by the water. I love to take a walk, take a run, just to see the nature, sit down by the water and just relax.
Well, Toronto and Chicago have an advantage over Montreal and New York.
Yeah.
They got some clean freshwater lakes,
I
right?
know.
They're
Yeah.
on clean freshwater lakes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's a whole other experience. You're looking at skyscrapers, but
Yeah.
you're taking a clean swim. You know,
Exactly.
that's a next level cosmopolitan
Yeah, definitely.
experience.
100%, brother.
What's one of the things tourists get wrong about Toronto?
Ooh. Um, I would say maybe the food, because I guess a lot of people don't know that there's so many different kinds of types of foods that you can get here. But like I feel like there is a huge amount. If you want any kind of food, you can find it here. Like if you go anywhere, you can find the type of food that you're looking for. You can find it. So I think a lot of tourists they come here thinking Toronto is one way, but when they realize there's so many different people from different backgrounds, different cultures, so when you're looking for any kind of food, you can find it here.
Well, also Toronto has the largest number of foreign-born people of anywhere in Canada. So
Yeah,
you're gonna find a selection of restaurants that reflect that,
100%.
and the diversity of cuisine is just
Yeah,
next level.
definitely.
Um, if you could change one thing about Toronto, what would it be?
I would just change the work environment. How people have to work a lot just to make ends meet. I feel like in Toronto, people don't enjoy enough of their life, living like their activities. They're always working, they're on the go. Like, I get it. I'm like that too. But there is a moment where, like, you have to stop, smell the roses, smell your accomplishments, know what's happening, and just relax. Work isn't always it isn't always the biggest thing. You need to just find that time because time is always moving. So we need to like just focus on the present and stop always focusing on what's next. Even though that's how you make things happen, you need to focus on what's going to happen and what you want to do for your future. But you need that time to just be present in the moment and just be here. So I would change just the work life balance in Toronto.
So I agree with you, and I would advise for most people that they have a balanced lifestyle because
Yeah,
that's the right way to live. But
100%.
the reality is, if you want to move mountains, unfortunately, there's no alternative to unbalance.
Yeah, yeah,
There's few examples of people
yeah,
that have been able to create something very interesting and unique,
right,
and to get widespread adoption, or to get a lot big fan base without working hard. But
right.
generally speaking, that's a critical ingredient.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I guess that's what it is, you know?
Describe Toronto in 3 words.
Ooh, multicultural,
Mhm.
food galore, and
What's
the
the
vibe.
best meal you had in Toronto?
Ooh, the best meal? That is a tough question. I would say, oh my gosh. You know what? There's this place. It's called, a lot of people don't know it maybe. It's called Robot Boil House. So pretty much it's like a robot that comes around and serves you the food. But this place has great seafood, lobster, crab, shrimp. If you like seafood, I would say go to Robot Boil House.
Robot Boil House?
Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
telling me that they're replacing waiters with robots already?
But yeah, you know, like yo, it's happening here. It's already happening in Toronto. Like there are waitresses and waiters there, but no, the main ones that serve you the food are the robots. When they come to you, you gotta like grab your food from the robot and then you put it on your plate. So it's a whole nother level now.
We got to start calling Toronto Tokyo.
Yay, that's it.
The future is here,
It is
for
here,
better
brother.
or for worse.
Yeah.
What's a festival or event in Toronto that everybody should experience?
Ooh, I would say you should experience Fashion Art Toronto. So this event is a fashion show event where it's about 4 days of runway shows, performances, models, designers. It's a bunch of socialites and people from the entertainment industry. We all get together and we just enjoy each other's beauty and environment and your vibe. And it's just a fantastic time of year, and it happens twice a year.
At least if you miss it in the summer, you could catch it in the winter, right?
Exactly, exactly.
If your city were a person, if Toronto were a person, what kind of personality would they have?
Oh man, there'll be a workaholic trying to balance that life work balance. This is what I would say. But with a lot of nice um qualities as well.
Tell us about the wild side of Toronto.
Okay, the wild side. I mean, if you're down to party, there could be some parties here that last, until 4 a.m. Usually last call is like 1 o'clock. Parties finish at like 2 a.m. But there are some parties that go later, and you have to be, I guess, kind of exclusively invited to it. Where there's unlimited alcohol, there's parties, there's different party rooms. Like people are doing all kinds of different things, washroom here. Yeah. So there could be there's some crazy events here.
What do
If
you
you
mean by
know where
different
to look.
things?
Like, like different rooms. People, you don't know what's going on. People are doing different things in other rooms together quickly, but there's so much happening that you don't know what's happening. Like you don't know what's going on because maybe you had a couple drinks, maybe you're a little bit high yourself. Um, but yeah, there are some parties where things can get pretty wild and hectic, but still fun and safe for the most part.
Well, that's good. At least they're playing it safe.
Yeah.
Closing segment. What's one of the lessons that Toronto has taught you?
Oh man, that you should have some close friends that you can depend on. Have a close knit circle of people that you could rely on whenever you need help, or just understanding that you're not alone in your situation and what you're going through. There are other people going through your situation and a lot worse than you. So just be grateful for whatever situation you are in because it could be a lot worse.
And Mashawi, I think that that is true of any city,
Yeah,
but it's particularly true of the leading cities of the world like the Torontos, the New Yorks, the LAs,
right,
where having a close knit circle of friends is all the more important.
right,
You know, because
100%.
it's easy to get drowned into the, um, the uncompromising, unyielding machine of the city that just, carries you from work to sleep, back to work,
Exactly.
and can be heartless at times.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. It could be a vicious cycle of just repeating what you're doing. And then you're thinking, you're like, is this my life? Am I just working to live? Or not living. You need to freaking live your life and enjoy some of that time. You need to.
Yeah, for real. What's next for you, and how does Toronto fit into it?
Okay, what's next for me is that I'm going to be working on more music videos, releasing more music. And the plan is to hopefully do some touring performances around the States, try to do some European tours. Toronto is always home base for me, but for me, I feel like there has to be a time where I need to grow from my city. This is my city. I'm born and raised here. I have family, friends here. It's always the home base, but there's a plan where I want to venture out into different countries and to see how their industry is. I love New York. I would like to check out LA. But yeah, the plan is to one day venture out and discover some other opportunities in other countries and other cities.
And we hope that you find cities that are equal and on par to Toronto or even better.
Awesome. Yeah.
Um, you know,
Absolutely.
all the luck with that. Mashawi, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the City Show. We drop an episode every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Spotify and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The City Show Official and at The City Show, respectively, for up to date information on our projects. Mashawi, we hope that you enjoyed this journey into the heart of urban creativity and inspiration. Until next time, keep exploring your city. There's always more to discover.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
brother.
much.
Pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.